Hey YouTube! Alright, so this is my new design with me. I'm going to be chilling out with my Gnomies. Since the last video, which was, I filmed it probably about an hour ago, I've already changed my mind. I am no longer going to be trying to mimic this. Although, these are super cute, and I really like them, I just don't think they are feasible for the Gnome project. I think there's other projects that are better. Maybe a forest theme, and take small steps. So, I'm doing super hyper cute English garden. So going back to the gnomes. Alright, so we've got this super cool gnome and I'm going to start designing it. And how we're going to do that is we're going to just keep everything simple. Because cute is all about simplicity. So we're going to start with the face and we'll work backwards. So we've got the face. I don't have a color swatch for this, but I'm thinking if you need to pick a color library, you can easily just run through, open up Photoshop or Illustrator, and down here, under the Swatches tab, is the Swatch Library menu. And you can go through, and using these down arrows, this is Baroque, which I love this color set for fall. I'll be using that next fall. You can just kind of click through and see if there's any colors that you already like. So there's a lot of earth tones, Russian poster art, which I didn't really know was a big enough thing to get its own category. But we can just click through. So that's it for, oh, there we go. I was going to say where they all go. A lot of different color schemes. So, picking a good one. A lot of Pantones, pastels. That's the only problem with going through it this way, is you have to, drag your feet through everything. But I'm thinking like a soft, like bright pastel, which I know is a bit of a misnomer. Get it? Misnomer. Come on, guys, I'm trying here. Alright. So, I might just do it off the top of my head. I kind of know where in the color palettes. I'm thinking like light blues. Where do we go? Here we go. Like light blues like that might be something we're interested in, but we will forgo this. But super cool tool, super good for ideas if you're thinking for color themes. Again, having a color palette makes it really, really nice when you're designing. It helps keep things consistently and you don't end up having like scatterbrain art all over the place. But there are so many different color schemes. These are all really cool stuff that you can use. They have a lot of different things, like these are gradient layers, and gradients are pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do with them, but for stickers we tend to stick to the simple stuff. So we'll go ahead and remove the stroke. We're going to want to do, there's a good base tone to kind of work off of. We want like a light-skinned gnome. Remember, gnomes live underground, so more than likely they're going to be a little pasty. Not a lot of diversity I've ever seen in gnomes. Never seen other ethnic races in the gnomes, which is unfortunate. But that's a good, super solid skin tone. So let's give him a fun little hat. So we're going to move this down a little. I'm working in a 10-inch by 10-inch square. I'm going to zoom in a little. That way I have a little more room when I'm designing stuff. And we're going to bring it. So just like in a regular drawing, you can draw these fake lines over your face just to give you an idea of where your gnome's face is going to fall. And it should be about 2/3 of the way from the bottom is where the eyes are going to hit, and that middle beam is the nose. So you can adjust this using the A tool, using A selection, meaning hitting the A button. It will bring up this direct select tool, and you can work on these paths. If you want to do it that way, I tend to eyeball it, but I do like to have this line just to kind of give me an idea where my eyes are going to fall when I'm designing. There we go. When I'm designing stuff. So let's go ahead and give him a little hat. We'll give it a little crook at the top. That way it kind of falls over. Topped gnome. We know gnomes historically have that beautiful red hat. Gnomes are more than likely probably related to elves. So that's pretty interesting, right? I wonder who's one's like a garden gnome. They always say garden gnomes. Are there other types of gnomes? Do you guys know? Do you gnome it? But for real, if there's garden gnomes, there's got to be other gnomes. Or like mountain gnomes? There's misnomers. I've already made that joke once. Sorry. I prepped. So we've got ourselves a cute hat. I'm actually going to make the color a little lighter because I was telling you about how that style I'm looking for. And I'll probably use that red to go through and give some shadows. So I will show you guys that in a moment. I just want to get the basic shape down, and then we can come back and add some color into everything. I want the hat to be a little more fitted. This kind of looks like it's on top and not really pulled down over their head. Now let's give them a little nose, a little button nose. Put it right there. And I'll show you there's a couple different options for noses that we can do. We'll take this background color, darken the shade. Let's just give them a little, simple little beady black eyes. So we got that. And how I made that move perfectly across is by holding on the shift key. It will let me only move in 45-degree angles from the original option, and then I held down Alt, which then made a copy. Now let's go ahead and go into this nose. Let's boogie on down. Sorry, these puns are horrible today. And give him a little shine, and that's going to make his nose kind of stand out. So we'll take that, and we'll turn it white, and we'll swap for that. Give it a bend. So what I did, sorry, I'm not talking through it. I drew the line, and then I selected white because I'll show you what happens in a second, but we selected it. And then this menu feature here on the stroke by direct selecting gives me different ways to change the shape of the line. Now these are the presets, and there's an easy way to do this also. If they don't have the preset you want, it's this tool, which looks like it's underneath one of these menus. Where are you? It's here somewhere. Oh, I just went right by it. So I'm holding down Alt and clicking through, and because of this little tab in the corner, that means there's more menu item. When you see this thing, which looks like a ghost with like robot arms, what that means is if you have a path, you can see these little white dots pop up. If you click and expand, you can then change the shape of a stroke. And the reason why that's really cool is it lets you change things about the line later by using that as a shape. So see how we can eventually come in, and just by changing the stroke, it now remembers the profile that I just made for it. Now we don't want to actually use this profile. We want to kind of keep it there. But that's how you can create your own path shapes. If you're doing like a complex, maybe something around a corner or a bend, and you want it to get thin and fat again, or for anything, even if you're going to do seaweed, it'd be easier just to, instead of trying to go in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out with the pen tool, just draw a straight line and add width and skinny, and remove width, I guess, to that. So we're going to take this and change the opacity to about 70%. So that's bringing the color behind it. So if I decide to change the color of this nose now, that's still going to show the color behind it through. And that makes it super, super nice for adjusting at a later date. And what highlights do is anytime you add a highlight, it pushes forward in your mind the object. So now the nose looks like it's coming towards you with the shine. If we added a low light or maybe a little lip hair that was darker underneath it, that's going to push it back. But not everything needs that. So see how his hat on his head kind of looks like they're on the same plane? All we would need to do to change that is come in here, select our shape, select here, which is draw inside, meaning we are only going to be able to draw inside this shape. And then I'm going to darken the color a little. Just go straight down. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Alright, I'll just show you first. So we're going to click here, come up and try and mimic just underneath. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. Just underneath the hat. And we're going to go up and over. Now when I go to select, drop the color, we're going to want to get rid of that stroke. So now you can see the shape, but if we click here, now you can see his hat, you push the head back a little. And maybe his eyes aren't involved in that. We can move that there. I think his eyes might be a little too big. And so now you can see how shading, it's not super hard. We'll go in on this eyeball and let's give the eye a little glimmer, right? Like fat little Santa Claus. Maybe Santa Claus is just a gnome that grew up. A giant gnome. So again, it's all exploring. Every piece I've designed, even though there's certain tricks like on how to do things, I end up coming back and always trying it again because maybe I'll find a better way. And that's the hope, is that I'll get better somehow through an accident or through some creative exploration. I'm going to keep trying. And you don't have to use a circle. I know we have some things that we've made where I've used the hexagon instead, more of a prism kind of look. So, but because everything's round here, I'm going to try and keep it in style. Well, he needs ears. Let's do ears. They're super easy to add some ears. Do that, bring it, push it to the back, and we're going to copy this. So, because there's no shadow on the ears, it even though shadows normally push back, because of the difference, it kind of makes it look like the elf, or our gnome friend, has the ears even farther back. But I might add a little bit of shadow, I don't know. I might just actually just make these a touch darker, just to bring them out a little. But we can goof with that in a second. Maybe we'll copy this and we'll give him a little, whatever the name of this ridge is on your ear. I know it's pretty important. Maybe even it might be a little too strong, so again, I like the color, so let's just drop the opacity so it kind of starts mixing the two colors together. So the trick is anyone can do this, but when you get better, or as you're getting better, I'm grouping these together, you start learning tips and tricks and things to make you more efficient. And that's the difference between a bad designer and a good designer, plus, you know, basic skills and vision and all the kind of stuff that makes you just good at this. If you have the foresight, or if you have something in your mind and you can't get it out, it's literally how long are you willing to sit down and keep working at it and trying in your fearlessness to say, maybe I want the opacity to be less. That kind of stuff is what really makes your image. And so give him another little surprised mouth. Oh no! Someone just stepped on a gnome! I don't know why I like his surprise face. But the reason why is you can come in and select these outside bars. Direct select tool, it points. Look at that. Just by using the up arrows on those two, we've given him a pretty cute mouth. And then maybe bring the bottom one up a little. And huzzah. Our gnome now has a mouth. I think I like saying the word gnome. Gnome. But, so we got our gnome head. Now, I wonder if we should quit while we're ahead. So we should give him a body. Oh god, Kayla's gonna hate all these bad jokes. So now we've got these pets, we're gonna give them a little stroke. Oh my god. I am so sorry that came out so bad. We're going to put add a little definition around them so we can see them. So we've got our little gnome guy. He's looking a little tall, so we're going to take the direct select, highlight him, and scrunch him down a little bit. You can see his shoulders are going up a little, and we can adjust that too by clicking on these points and bringing down the handles, giving him reasonable shoulders, not 1950 shoulder pad look. And there we go. Got a cute little gnome guy. Bring make the pants a little smaller. And I think I'm going to take these points on the edge. We're going to try and actually flare them out a little so it looks a little more natural body type. And there we go. That kind of looks better. And let's give him some shoes. Nothing too fancy. And we got ourselves a cute little gnome. Now we can go in and do some maybe a little shading. Put a shine on the belt loop. Same exact thing we did before. This time I might actually just leave it white because it's a high shine. It's not going to be so much of a dim glow. Maybe just even 90 opacity would be enough. So there you go. We've got our little garden gnome. That's one done. And what I'll do for the other ones is I'll probably change their shirts, move their arms around. Maybe they'll have a different colored hat, couple different style beards. Maybe do one that's a little wispy or do a big curly one. And just make a couple different gnomes like that. Make a couple mushroom houses. I know I started doing these mushrooms. Looking back, I think I'm going to switch it so they're a little more... Do the mushrooms so they're a little more Smurfy. Like more Smurf houses, wider bases, maybe some windows, and just do like a gnome garden. And we'll just keep playing with this theme, but I think these are super cute little gnomes, and they look super friendly, and I hope you guys like watching my design with me. If you guys, I might as well just switch the video 1 second. So thanks so much for watching. If you guys like these design with me, please like it or hit subscribe or just leave a comment telling me that it's helpful or something. And I'm not begging for this. It just helps me to know that I'm doing something useful. I have a really hard time putting out content like Kayla does, where she cranks out a few videos a week, and she's an amazing person, and I just don't have that type of gung-ho stick with it. So when I do get comments and you guys say you like these videos, it lets me know that I'm actually helping people, or at least, you know, entertaining people, and that's ultimately the biggest boost I need, because again, this isn't really what I'm used to. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you want me to design any sets, leave them in the comments and I'll try and get to them. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. But thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.